Okay, today is now Thursday. It's 1:59 a.m. and it is May 22nd. Today was a very emotional day. Um, I wrote something on Facebook about my passing mother, and that got me extremely emotional. And it tired me out. I was exhausted. And for lunch, I had pizza, uh, a buffet, and somehow there's an association of underperformance when I eat pizza, and I'm making a connection with I. It's so complicated, and so I breached this. Fortunately, it's a 5K account, which means that I'm spending half as much in these platform challenges now, but I just breached it. And the reason why I breached it is the same thing. So I was up 4%, and all I needed was 4 more percent. And then I started trading, and then I lost two in a row. And then, unbeknownst to me, I started to size up to regain what I lost. And then, sure enough, I did regain it, but I didn't get enough, so I kept trading, and so I lost again. And then I started to go bigger. And then I saw this huge spike at that moment. Somehow the market knew that somehow that period of time, it becomes furious. It moves very fast. And then I sized in just at that time. I timed it with the market where the market was moving fast to the point where I was sizing big, and then all of a sudden it just moved against me and I lost. Okay? And so that is this exactly the same thing that I've done for the past 400, almost 400 platform challenges. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm just like, I, I, I'm, I'm. Now this is the reason why. This is the because it is so difficult to control because on a day-to-day basis, it's difficult to trade with a pristine mind without emotion because there will be times when emotions will control that part of the day, and there's no self-control to hold off on trading. Because before I started to get into it, I thought to myself, maybe I should just get some sleep and call it a day. But it's hard to do. It's difficult to do. And so I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I spent the past 5 years doing this, but the first day is the same as today, and I kept losing. So I'm thinking to myself, I think this is this is the reason why. This is the reason why 95% of the people cannot trade. What I'm experiencing right now is exactly what the 95% of the people always do. They keep losing. Even if they have their own personal account, they're going to do this because they'll have. That's why some of these even professionals, they go in with $4,000 to $5,000, and then they'll take the money out because they know at a certain point they'll lose control and they'll breach that they'll ruin it. Even professionals do this, and only those who are extremely the elite, which is maybe 1%, 1% of the people, uh, 1% of people are able to control themselves and able to save themselves and stop trading at that moment. Okay? So unless I figure out this is the critical this see, it's hard to control. It's so hard to control. It's hard to control. Even if I'm losing, even if I lose, I have to convince myself to stop trading. Okay? That's one part. The second part is when I'm trading and I'm losing, I can't control myself to stop. So I keep trading. So there's two there's at least two different ways to keep losing. And this is what 95% of the people fall victim to on a consistent basis. if somebody wrote software to do this, okay, if somebody wrote a software to do these trades, then it's consistent all the time, okay? It's consistent, but when somebody's finger trading this, okay, when somebody's finger trading this, it's a loss. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so even if I do like a paper trading, right? Even if I do paper trading, the results will be good, okay? Because there's the emotional attachment to the numbers won't be there, okay? So it is possible to pass. It is possible. But once that emotion kicks in, and real live trading occurs, it essentially it essentially places an incredible amount of burden on a daily basis to make these trades. And so what I'm attempting to do is something that is incredibly virtually impossible. This is virtually it's I can honestly say this is very very easy. I can say that trading is very very easy for me now at this moment. At this moment, the information that I have is telling me that trading is very very easy. Okay, I can see that. I can see that it's very very easy, okay? The hard part is controlling the emotion, okay? Trading is easy. All I have to do is size right appropriately at a certain point, and then trade. Even if I lose, I can lose small and then recover it later with as my trading improves. Okay, but somehow my mind totally negates the fact that I only have a 40% win to loss ratio. Okay, and then I started to trade big. Okay, so that's the big thing. That is why 95% of the people cannot trade. And so you have these people who are on YouTube, who are like successful traders. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. So the idea is very very simple. The idea is very very simple. All I have to do is identify the support and resistance, and then when it pops up to a certain point, okay, when it pops up and holds, okay, chances are it's going to keep going up, and sometimes it'll drop down, okay, break and retest kind of thing. It'll come back up, okay. So all I have to do is put a little, wider stop loss on there, and it'll work. But the reality is, I'll jump into something, trade something that is inappropriate. Like when it moves in a very, very fast manner, I jump in, and that causes a severe amount of damage to the account because I see it, and my natural instinct is to, when I see that candle move like that, as soon as I jump in, it's gonna give me a huge return, immediate return, okay, which is a problem. Okay, I should have only traded what I know, which are the four setups. But I just kept jumping in and started like losing it. Wow! And I had a chance on the last. I had a chance on the last trade, on the last trade to save this thing. And um wow. I'm beginning to think. I'm beginning to think that for me, it is virtually impossible unless I write a software, unless I write a software that controls this automatically, right? Unless I write a software that automatically does this by itself. But until then, this thing, this day trading thing is impossible. Look at that! Wow, it was just a minor blip now, and it was just moving this way. Wow. Wow. Um, this is hard. This is really really hard. This is truly very, very hard. Trading is very, very easy. It really is easy. Well, okay. Trading is very, very hard because of that, because of it's very, very simple. Trading is very, very simple, but very, very hard. Why is it hard? It's because of that emotion. The emotion, for me anyway, the emotion kicks in and just totally ruins everything. It just runs out of control. It's like it runs out of control. It does it over and over again. Like it repeats. It repeats on a continual basis. So whoever I interact with on the outside who triggers this emotional response and injects this emotional thing into me causes a severe amount of emotional turbulence. That emotional turbulence is injected into my trading, which causes me to lose these challenges. And so whoever I interact with on the outside can destroy my trading. Because I have to be at absolutely at all times emotionless when I make these trades. But it is virtually impossible to be emotionless when I'm making these trades. So I thought I had it. I thought I had controlled it. I thought I had, and then I started sitting here, like writing Facebook posts on something that causes an extreme amount of emotional turbulence. And this is the reason why. Emotion is the reason why. The emotion is the reason why 95% of the people can never make money from the market. So I'm sitting here, I'm trying to figure this out. Now, okay, so, and then I created a YouTube video and I'm asking myself, Ski, why are you not profitable even after 5 years? This is the reason why. Wow. Like just today, I was up like 2%. Actually, 4%. I was up 4%. All I had to do was get another 4%. I got 4% in like almost 4 days, 3 days, 4 days. And all I had to do was repeat that. Wow. And somehow, so what I need to do is whenever I go somewhere, I need to be careful who I interact with. Okay? I have to be very, very careful because it could cause me to lose thousands. It could, if I had thousands of, which essentially that's what it did. I lost $50,000 so far, right? I lost every penny that I ever made. So that's roughly about $50,000 into the market, which means that anybody who I interact with, they could make me lose $50,000. So if I was outside and I had this like screaming match or something, some sort of like an emotional trigger that's caused, like if I go to a restaurant and this cashier started to start a fight, verbal fight, okay, that will cause me to be dislodged and cause a severe emotional trauma, okay, which will undermine my trading. It'll ruin a whole week's of work, okay, and $30, okay, $30. Nowadays, I'm just doing prep work, so my hours are limited, and so $30 is a whole day of work. Wow. I don't know how I'm gonna fix this. I have no idea how I'm gonna fix this. So okay, so I don't know how I'm gonna fix this because this is a reoccurring kind of a thing. This occurs. Wow. See, anytime. Wow, this is so important. This is the point where I turned the corner. This is it. This is it. If I can figure this out, this is the point where I turn the corner. This is it. This is the point. This is the point where I turn the corner if I can figure this out. If I can figure this particular thing out. This is why 95% of the people cannot make money on a consistent basis while trading. That's why these prop firms have psychiatrists helping out as a risk manager. Okay, and they talk about like what is your what is it? What is it called? What is your emotional temperature or something, whatever that is. So, but what's happening is that when I'm sitting here by myself late at night, nobody, not even interacting with anybody, I could be in a state of manic depression, in an incredibly emotionally turbulently charged, okay? And that will cause me to just say goodbye to this challenge. Even though it's like $30 so important right now. I can't even put gas into my car. So, and all this is doing is just, wow, all this is doing, wow, unless I need to figure this out. So, so, so I spent the past 5 years trying to figure out how to trade. Okay. Now I need to figure out how I can address this, because I have to, the person that is me needs to trade on a day-to-day basis. But I have to figure out how I control myself so that 5 days later I don't run into the same problem. Okay? I don't know how I did it in February. Okay? I don't know how I did it. I kept myself in a stable condition for about I kept myself in a stable condition for about a month and a half. Okay? I don't know how I did it. I have no idea how I did it. But for 1.5 months, I kept myself in a mentally pristine, emotionless condition for about a month and a half straight. And each and every day. And sometimes I'd get teetered out a little bit, but I recover. Okay? Somehow I'd make and I was able to make a couple of trades that were oversized, but I was able to steer it back into the right direction. And I was able to pass the phase 1 and phase 2. Okay? So even if people who are pay an enormous amount of money to get funded, they're going to run into the same thing. They're going to run into the same situation. So that's why a lot of people, they only trade one or two trades a day, because if you trade more than that, when somebody trades more than that, it causes this to occur. So at the beginning of this trading day, I was doing okay for maybe 10 trades, and I should have just stopped. But I couldn't stop because I wanted to pass. Okay, I wanted to make a substantial amount of gain today. But because I wanted to make a significant amount of gain, even though I was tired, that just got me in trouble. Okay, and I just careened out of control. And the last 2 trades just essentially just ruined it. Last 3 trades. But I kept sizing up. So, I know that this is a problem. This is a big problem. Big problem. This is a problem that can not be fixed. This is a reoccurring problem. And this is the reason why. And everybody knows. Even those people who are losing, they know, but they can't fix it. Okay? They know what's going on. You could pay thousands of dollars. And you cannot fix this. I don't know how you fix it. How do you fix it? I did a little YouTube search, Google search on it. It says I did a Google search on it because I had pizza yesterday, and pizza tend to apparently the bread causes like endorphins or something like that, right? And that's why I tend to have lower performance when I eat pizza. When I eat pizza and attempt to trade, it causes, okay. So it looks like what I eat has a huge impact on what the performance is. And when I ate like oatmeal like a month and a half ago, when I kept eating oatmeal, oatmeal was able to keep my moods and emotions in a stable condition. Okay? So it seems like oatmeal it seems like oatmeal is able to control my emotions, but pizza causes my emotion to go out of control. Pizza seems to cause my emotions to go out of control. Pizza especially. There seems to be a correlation. There seems to be a correlation between pizza and emotional out of control. I did a Google search on it. It says that there's like a endorphin that is released because of the bread or something like that. And combinations of flavors causes the it's like a drug. Pizza is a drug, okay? Pizza pizza causes the emotion to get out of control. So so what I need to do is the only reason I was able to be successful in the past was eating oatmeal. Surviving on oatmeal caused me to control my emotions the right way. Okay, but if I eat anything else, it could cause my emotional outburst to be accentuated. Okay, so that seems to be it. Okay, I've seen a correlation between eating pizza in the past with account breaches. I've seen that. Okay, pizza, pizza seems to be it. Okay, because it is something that I need to control with, and I was able to control myself for the past 4 to 5 days, and all of a sudden today, yesterday after I ate pizza and I started to trade, and I started to lose control of myself. So there seems to be a dietary component that controls my emotion. And then wow. Oh wow. Something in the pizza is causing me to be emotional. Something. Whoa.